Hey guys, it's Will here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, going to be doing something a little bit different. Instead of talking about Warhammer 40k, we're going to be talking about Age of Sigmar. So specifically, we want to talk about the new Cities of Sigmar Battletome. I nearly said Codex there. Cities of Sigmar Battletome that's coming out in a couple of weeks' time. Now, this represents the various free cities of the mortal realms that are, part of the forces of order and under Sigmar's rule, but are quite cosmopolitan and diverse in what they actually, what they're like. They're a mix of humans, elves, dwarves, elves and Dwarden, as well as some Stormcast and various different factions within those. It's not just your classic high elves, you've got what would be otherwise considered dark elves and wood elves, and various different human factions as well, but they're all working together as part of the forces of order. And I just want to talk about three things that I am particularly excited about for this new book. So the first thing I'm looking forward to is reinforcing my Stormcast. Now, Stormcast Eternals are in the book. I don't know whether even Liberators will be battle line yet. They certainly weren't in the picture that GW showed of all the battle line options today, but traditionally Liberators have been battle line even in a pure order force, so they may be battle line in Cities of Sigmar, but that is not confirmed at this time. But where I'm getting with this is a chunk of my Stormcast collection at the moment. I've been playing these in a fair few games in Age of Sigmar since it came out, and I really like the aesthetic of the army, but the colour scheme I've chosen, in hindsight, although it looks great, takes a very long time to do, and as the game has grown, points have gone down per model and sizes of games have gone up. It's taken me a long time to add new units to this if I want to keep them at the same standard. Now, I still really enjoy them, still want to use them, but I do want to have some other options, particularly on like cheap troops, because the Stormcast Liberators aren't hugely expensive now, especially if you go for big units, but they're still fairly pointsy. They're about 20 points per guy, and they take a long time to paint to the standard that I like them. So looking forward to being able to add some other stuff to this, whether that is I'm going to need 3 totally new battle line units to add to this, or whether I could have my Liberators as one of my battle line units, and then maybe a couple of other units from the Cities of Sigmar list. I don't know, but one of the cool things is I'm going to be able to use my Stormcast, not as allies, but as a full part of the army, along with Cities of Sigmar units. So that's really cool. It's not going to be starting over a whole new force. It's going to be something that can be added to my additional forces, or have my current forces added to it. So one guy I'm particularly looking forward to using is this guy here. This is the Lord Ordinator. Now, his thing is that he's like an engineer, and he has like a 6-inch aura of +1 to hit for war machines. Now, the great thing about this is it's not Stormcast war machines, it's Order war machines. That includes Empire cannons. No, they're not a thing anymore. Free Guild steam tanks, or Ironwalled Arsenal steam tanks, Hellblaster volley guns, Hailstorm rocket batteries, all that sort of thing. He's not just buffing my Celestar ballistas, but he could buff like rocket batteries and Hellblaster volley guns and really cool stuff like that. So there's already a little bit of synergy there, and that's even without the book in my hand yet. So definitely an option to use some of these guys there. The other thing is, as you can see, these are painted as the Hammers of Sigmar, and they've got these cool Realm of Fire bases, which is already giving me an idea as to which City of Sigmar I might be playing, because they all have not just their own rules, but their own lore, their own background. And Hammerhal, a city originally founded by the Hammers of Sigmar, certainly not on their own, they had backup, but one that they are known to garrison. And if you don't know Hammerhal, it's the twin-tailed city, so half of it is in the realm of fire, half of it is in the realm of life. So these guys are clearly in the realm of fire, and they could totally represent the Stormcast garrison of Hammerhal Akshi. Next thing I'm excited about is the opportunity to bring back some of the units I have not played in years. So this is a small selection of my old High Elf army. It's much larger than this, and as you can see, this was originally done for Warhammer Fantasy, hence the square bases, and please excuse the unpainted models. I was never very good at finishing my old fantasy armies because sometimes they were just so large with the horde rule, and you needing like 40 to 50 infantry per unit, which I think is one of the things that was a problem for the game back in the day. But anyway, I'm looking forward to getting some of these units out again in the Cities of Sigmar book. Now, the first obvious two choices that will definitely be coming back, these Phoenix Guard. Really nice models, really did a good job on these as well for the time. Got little flames on the back of the cloaks of every single one of them. A couple of them need a little bit of touching up. The drummer has lost his drum. There's a couple of broken halberds in there. But ultimately, you know, this is a unit that could still very quickly become battlefield ready. And I even know how I would deal with the basing issue. I already have a steady plan for sorting those out. And they're potentially battle line. Now, that's probably battle line under the right circumstances, which will probably be that my general is an anointed of Ashurian. Oh look, it's an unpainted anointed of Ashurian. We finally have a good excuse to paint him up. He'd certainly be an interesting general for the army. I could even perhaps get a third box of Phoenix Guard, make this into 2 units of 10, you know, make it almost like a Phoenix Temple themed core to the force. Backing that up would be my, at the moment I only have one Phoenix, a Frostheart Phoenix, but I always wanted an excuse to do the Flamespire one as well. Now, I will say yes, he's on the wrong base at the moment. This should be a much larger flying stand. The original one broke, and I've been not got around to fixing it, but this could be inspiration to do it. And as you can see, it's a nice looking model. I've also got this magnetised, so we can put the rider on the back, so I could even have my general and anointed on a Phoenix. I do have the parts to make that. So certainly options there with the whole Phoenix side of things. Now at the back here you see some High Elf Spearmen. Now obviously they're not in the book, they really haven't been part of the Age of Sigmar lore at all, they're very much an old legacy unit. But when you look at these models, and remember that the Cities of Sigmar are very diverse places, you know, they don't all have one uniform. Take that head off, replace it with a more human looking head, give him perhaps a round shield rather than the traditional like teardrop, not even teardrop, I don't even know what shape you'd call that, the sort of long triangular shield. And you know, you've got something that could easily pass for a human spearman, like a Free Guild guy from a city where perhaps the Free Guild just have different uniforms. GW have shown this sort of thing themselves, where they've had the Free Guild soldiers in vastly different uniforms from some conversions they've done, and featured, you know, on their like official stuff. So certainly a unit that could be adjusted. And to be honest, they need some work anyway. I mean, half of them have dropped their shields, so great opportunity to get some new shields and maybe find something stronger to stick them on with. Other than that, there's this guy. Now, you have to be very old to remember what this guy is, and his name has actually escaped me even, but he was kind of like a druid type character. He is a Games Workshop model. He was originally done in metal, but this was a Finecast re-release that came out with Storm of Magic. And I honestly have forgotten the name of this guy, but he's like a druidy type guy. But, you know, you see him in a free Cities of Sigmar army. Well, that's obviously a Collegiate Arcanum wizard using the Law of Beasts. You know, very clear, obvious thing. Or even the Law of Life you could get away with for him. He'd definitely be included. Got a few other elf characters here. Caradrian, special character Phoenix Guard. He'd make a nice second anointed. Or even, you know, if I wanted to maybe split this into 2 squads, I've got a spare flag somewhere, and he can go be painted up to be the second sergeant type guy for them, so that's all good. And this guy, clearly he's a High Elf Prince on foot, not a model that we'd have anymore, but if I've got a lot of spearmen that have this design, again, pop the head off, get a different head, maybe swap the shield as well. He could be kind of a free guild general, counts as in kind of a city where the uniforms are vastly different, perhaps because of just location or what realm they're in, or just something about the founding and history of that city. Finally, the last model I want to show you, this is another unpainted old high elf model. This is a mage, an archmage. Again, very clearly a high elf model at the moment, but really, if I pop that head off, give him a different head, like some sort of human wizard type head, that could easily pass for a wizard of one of several different colleges, depending on how I painted him up. So yeah, chance to get out some of my old models, convert some of them up, have them count as, I've got a chunk that could be used as a Cities of Sigmar army, and it's some models I've not played with for so long, so this is a really exciting time. The third and final thing I want to talk about, just going back to Facecam here because I don't have the models to show for this, is the option for adding completely new stuff to my collection. You can see obviously I've got a decent chunk of Stormcast, some high elves that could still be used, but there is a lot of different units in this book. There must be over 20 units that can, in the right circumstances, be battle line alone, depending on your general and the composition of your army. And some of these are units that I have wanted to paint for years. Anyone who knows me may know that I'm quite partial to a large scaly monster, dragons and the like. I do like getting my Star Drake out. I've also got a high elf dragon, but I've never painted a Hydra because I've never really wanted to do a whole dark elf army, but a Hydra in my collection would be really fun, or even a Charybdis, and they're definitely potential options that I could add. And they may need certain dark elf units to support them, but I wouldn't need to have to do a whole dark elf army for them. So there's that. Back when Warhammer Fantasy was still a thing, I had and ahed with the idea of an Empire army, but then I heard the rumours of the game, getting squatted, and to be honest, I was starting to get a little bit tired of the old system, so that never came to be, but certainly be a fun option to add some, classic free guild models to that, or something really cool like Demigryph Knights, which apparently can be quite powerful in Hammerhal, which is the city that I would instantly gravitate to just because of the Stormcast I have. What about cannons? Never painted like some of the old Empire cannons, and they, as I've said, go really nicely with my Lord Ordinata. So yeah, there's hundreds of cool options of things I could add to this army. Because I've already got some of the basic meat and potatoes core stuff. Now exactly how that's all going to work out, we'll just have to wait and see what the rules are when the book comes out, but it's looking encouraging at the moment, so yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, thank you GW, keep up the good work. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I didn't rant too much about my high elves. They were an army I very much enjoyed back in the day. And let me know, are you interested in the Cities of Sigmar? What new stuff in there are you excited for? Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.